Hello and welcome. This is Jasur again from JRN Firm, a corporate consultancy company based in Shanghai, China. If you're new in this channel, first of all, our company provides corporate services. We provide company formation, liquidation, and contract drafting, Chinese and English, obviously, legal representation, and many other tailor-made corporate services related to doing business in China, Hong Kong, and several other countries. If you are interested in working with us, our contact details are always on the screen. Feel free to contact us. Now, in this video, I would like to quickly and briefly compare two cities of China for company formation. These are Yiwu and Shanghai, because we receive a lot of questions related to both of these places. So let's compare. First of all, I'm going to start with Yiwu, and I'm going to mention positive sides and negative sides. So first of all, company formation basics. These are similar to all the other parts of China, and they are the same. Basically, you need to start with name of the company, which is, it has to end with Co Ltd. Okay, and you can it can start with the city name, Yiwu, for example, ABC Trading Company Limited, for example, and in between you can choose whatever you like. Okay, of course, it has to comply with the local laws and policies. Now, that is the same for all the cities in China. Second, very important, distinct feature of Yiwu is you need to have your own physical office space. In Yiwu, it's nearly impossible for you to, for example, use a virtual office service or somebody else's address to register your company, because the government is not going to let you to do so. So what you have to do is you have to go to Yiwu, you have to rent your physical office space. And usually landlords, they require you to pay at least 6 months upfront. Monthly payments in Yiwu, nearly impossible. We went to Yiwu with my assistant, for example. We stayed there almost 3 weeks. And then we visited several office buildings. Almost all the landlords, they require you to pay at least 6 months. Or most of the time, it's 1 year. So that's going to cost you minimum, for 6 months, minimum 40,000 yuan. You can convert yuan into dollars depending on where you're staying, but approximately $1 equals to 7.2 yuan. Okay, so based on this, you can exchange. Now, if you're lucky, you can find 6 months contract. If not, then you have to pay for the entire year upfront. That, of course, brings your costs to a very high end, right? So imagine you're renting your office for 60,000 yuan a year. That's your starting cost now. On top of that, you have to add, obviously, the company registration fees. The local agents or companies like us, the costs for company formation start from 5,000 yuan, 6,000 yuan, and upwards, right? So talking about the time frame now, in Yiwu, how long it will take to take your business license. Usually it takes around 3 to 4 days. It's pretty quick actually compared to Shanghai, other places of China. It's pretty quick. Next, another distinct feature in Yiwu is that there is mandatory tax for foreigners. Monthly payment that you have to pay, okay? As long as you're doing business there, having your own company, and your work visa through this company, you absolutely must pay this 1,500 RMB payment. That is mandatory. This mandatory payment doesn't exist in Shanghai, for example, or let's say in Beijing, it doesn't exist. In Yiwu, due to different policies, local policies, this mandatory payment exists. Once again, it's 1,500 yuan every month. And when you get this work permit, this mandatory payment, to my knowledge, is paid upfront for the entire year. All right, you cannot pay it in installments. Now, of course, there are some positives as well. And now let's jump into the positives of Yiwu. First positive side of Yiwu is obviously it's got the biggest consumer market in the world. So the length of this market, we repeated in this channel many times, and we did videos as well. It's approximately 10 kilometers long, right? So you can go there and you can literally find any product you can imagine, right? That is the number one advantage. Number two advantage, of course, the resources. Beside the market, you will have a lot of logistics companies. You will have a lot of warehouses, for example, unlike Shanghai, for example. In Shanghai, because we don't have a market here, we don't have this kind of resources on the street, right? Number two advantage, obviously, it is the work permit, work visa attached to your company in Yiwu. One advantage is, unlike Shanghai, you can easily get work permit in Yiwu even if you don't have an academic degree. So there are so many clients that we have, for example, they don't have university degree. So in this situation in Shanghai, it's going to be a little bit challenging, a little bit costlier, because for people without a degree in Shanghai, there are only a few options, and all of these options are usually costly. So in Yiwu, if you don't have a degree, you can still apply for work permit through your company. And the requirements are usually 2-year work experience, high school diploma, and obviously you need to provide the lease agreement for your office and for your apartment. By the way, office and apartment agreements, lease agreements, they cannot be one, okay? Because we get this question quite often. You cannot mix these two things. So they have to be separate. You need to be able to provide these two things. And obviously, your background check, criminal background check, that has to be from the country of citizenship. And then you can contact your embassy or consulate in China to verify this, okay? Basically, translate it in Chinese and verify through the embassy. So with these documents, of course, attached with your company documents, you can apply for work permit in Yiwu. And you don't have to provide this degree. So as you can see, in Yiwu, there are negatives and positives, obviously. You can weigh the options accordingly, okay? Based on your situation, you can make a decision. Now let's briefly talk about Shanghai. Compared to Yiwu, obviously, Shanghai's ranking in China is much higher. So when you have a company in Shanghai and everybody sees that, you get most respect, okay? You get the respect because of the location, the jurisdiction of your company. It gives you that high ranking, okay? Because in China it exists. So when you say that you're a Shanghai company, probably you will be treated better. Next thing, for Shanghai, we are able to, as a company formation agent or legal consultant, we are able to provide you with registered address. Registered address is usually taken from the economic zones, different economic zones that we collaborate with in Shanghai. That means when we are registering the company in Shanghai, you don't have to pay for your office upfront. You don't have to rent this physical office space. You don't have to pay for 6 months or 1 year, just like in Yiwu, all right? In Shanghai, we can give you the address, include it in the company formation package, and that's it. We register the address in a very stable address because it belongs to the economic zone. It doesn't change often. So that's one biggest advantage here. That's going to reduce your costs dramatically, because in Yiwu, if we go back, remember, minimum 6 months payment or 12 months payment is going to be 60,000 or 40,000 yuan, right? In Shanghai, you don't have that. So dramatically reduced costs. Now, license, time frame to get the license in Shanghai is slightly longer, but I think the difference is only minor. So in Shanghai, you get 7 days to get your license. We can, of course, speed it up. Now, another huge advantage of Shanghai is we don't have mandatory tax for foreigners. Remember, in Yiwu, it was 1,500 a month. In Shanghai, that doesn't exist. You can get your work permit, you can get your work visa attached to your company, and you don't have to pay a monthly fee for it. Now, last point about Shanghai I want to mention is probably it's a downside, which is in order to get work permit attached to your company, you need to be able to provide under standard conditions academic degree. That is, it starts from minimum bachelor's degree and upwards. So if you don't have bachelor's degree from recognized university in Shanghai, you have several options to get work permit or work visa, but they are mostly costly. For example, you have this category A type of work permit, which is actually the requirements for category A is the same across China. So that is number one option, minimum 60,000 salary every month, and then from this 60,000 you need to be able to pay 10,000 yuan personal income tax. Second option, subcategory, investor subcategory. That means that you need to invest 15,000 USD, hire one Chinese employee, pay for their social security and salary, and then without a bachelor's degree you can apply. Last point in Shanghai, this also exists in Yiwu, then it's a point-based system. So for point-based system, your age should be at least like 40, 35 years old, because to substitute for your academic degree, you will be able to provide at least 10 or 15 years of professional work experience. So these are the options usually, except for point-based system, category A and investor subcategory, they are a little bit costly. But if your age is around 40 or 35, then you perfectly qualify for point-based system in Shanghai. Now, to summarize, Yiwu and Shanghai, they have their negatives and positives, obviously. Based on your specific situation, based on the situation of your business, and of course, based on your plans, future plans for your business, you can compare these two cities and then you make a decision. But obviously, if you want us to help you to make a decision, you can make a call with me, and you can see on the screen our contact details, and you can book a call on our website and I can help you through a Zoom call. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.